Welcome to Record-ology! Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. I thought we would have some fun with the beautiful, the wonderful, the very interesting and unique RCA Victor. Now, we have reviewed this, we've talked, it's been on the show once or twice, and hopefully most of you had a chance to watch those videos, but if you didn't, you're in for a treat, because we're going to take another look at it. I'm going to show you some really cool exclusive photos that the dealers would have access to. Kind of explains how this fits into their overall product lineup at the time. This is about late 49, 1950. And, you know, obviously RCA was really pushing 45s, which was their format. It was in the midst of the Columbia versus RCA format war, with RCA pushing 45s and Columbia pushing the LP. By the way, somebody mentioned that you will never see an RCA record that says LP. I came across one. Do I have it handy? Dang it, I don't have it handy. But I did find one. Most of the time they just say long playing because Columbia had that trademark. Anyway, so this is really, really cool. I'm going to back out a little bit just so you can see this. This was given to me by one of you guys, and also provided me with a bunch of the 45 Glenn Miller sets, which I was just looking through them a few minutes ago. And I'm just like, you guys are just so awesome, so giving. But he included this, which apparently it's a retailing guide for distributors, March 1949. And we're going to look through this. We're also going to listen to this, put an album on here, and play with it a little bit. But what was cool is that apparently this is a copy of a pretty rare and hard to find document that was at a record collecting show, and somebody had the brilliant idea of taking high resolution photos and then from that recreating the booklet. So it's all on one single-sided pages, but you'll get the idea here. On the back we've got a really cool ad for Easter Parade with Judy Garland and Fred Astaire, the friendly company, MGM Records. Super cool. And this kind of stuff, like vintage advertising, especially as it relates to records, I mean, it doesn't get any cooler. I'm going to zoom in a little bit now that you've seen the overall document there, but this way you can see it up closer. So there's a wide range of changers. This is one of many, the 45J. We also have a J2, which is somewhat different, a little bit larger. That one is not quite operational. This one has been lovingly restored and upgraded by your friend and mine, Peter Landry, aka Fardamark, and we're going to listen to it in a minute. But yeah, check out all these different variations. There's some that came in cabinets, some that came in consoles, some were standalone. This next page shows some titles in the catalog. Very, very cool. This is my favorite page. Okay, so let's savor this together. And this is just so cool. This is selling the product to the dealers so that they would, you know, tell their customers, which is really, really cool. And then obviously, like we talked about before, RCA Victor was trying to do this thing where, you know, they color-coded the records depending on what musical genre they were. And you'll come across the red ones from time to time. I've got 2, maybe 3 different variants of this. Eventually, apparently, during the war, or during the Korean War? It would have been the Korean War, Korean conflict. There was a need for some of the chemicals used in the color vinyl, so they went to the went back to the basic black. They kept the color labels though for a time, but yeah, it's just so cool. I love this stuff. It's so awesome. So we turn the page again, and it's just selling the dealers on the technology. That's about all there is to this booklet. But super neat, and what a cool, unique thing to have. Now this, like I said, 1949, 1950, was not originally designed to be a freestanding unit. It was on top of a similarly designed unit that was a speaker and radio combo. So it doesn't have a built-in speaker or anything like that. Originally it came with a very crude ceramic crystal cartridge, and yeah, I mean, it's been upgraded to an Audio-Technica 3600 magnetic, you can see under there. In so doing, the output voltage of the cartridge is now phono level instead of line level like it would have been with the Crystal. So because of that, you need to use a preamp. So I've got the Crosley P10 preamp. It is a mono output, by the way, so I've got it fed into... Oops. It would help if you could actually see what the heck I was doing. So I've got the signal coming out of this mono RCA jack into a splitter that goes into the input of the P10, and then the output's going to my switch and my speakers off camera. So let's take a look at this. Just beautiful, just gorgeous. The Bakelite is in amazingly good condition. All sides are smooth. There's no buttons or switches to be had except for the two on the front. On the back, you've just got the power cord and the original braided cord on the back. On the bottom here, you can see the original label. 45J, RCA Victor, Victrola. The Bakelite did sustain a couple cracks down here, and you can see inside there. We've opened this up before in previous shows, but it is a electromechanical wonder. Emphasis on mechanical over electro. It's got like a Quicksilver hair trigger changing action. It changes, it goes, you'll see how fast it is. It's known for being super, super fast. So let me make sure we're on the right input here. Now, when you have a changer like this, the idea, RCA, instead of buying a big record album, is you'd buy an album on 45 records. It would be in a box set. This is the pink label variant of the Glenn Miller Volume 1. This, I believe, was a promotional edition that used the pink label. I think I've got all the variants of this at this point. And I've got Volume 2 as well, which is harder to find. But anyway, this works great because it didn't come with any insets. So you just put the stack right there on the spindle. I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little better. And to turn it on, you just rotate. Help if I can. Okay. So to turn it on, we just do that, and it drops the first disc and goes to town. Also, it would help if I turn the speakers on. Okay, so the camera's a little bit away from the speakers, so really want to focus on the device. But you know, I'm hearing it obviously off camera. And you should be able to hear it a little bit as well. So it'll play all the way to the end of the record, and then it will automatically go on to the next one. It's fully automatic. So let's go to the end here. And as I talk here, it'll get to the end, and then you'll see how lightning quick that action is. And you're playing an album here just in a different way. You don't have to get up to change the record, you know, every 20 minutes like you do for an LP, or every 10 minutes like you do for an LP, or every 3 to 5 minutes like you do for a 7-inch 45. With this, you just let it play. And these are EP discs, so they're extra long. You can get a lot of musical entertainment automatically played here. And then when you're done playing through the stack, you pull off the entire stack and flip it over, and then you've got the other side to listen to. And they're labeled and numbered like we talked about before, so that they're in order to be played as a stack like this. Okay, so it's getting to the end, and look how quick that was, you guys. Tell me that is not awesome. Tracking force is about 2.5 to 3 grams, which may surprise you. It's not a record carver at all. It's super gentle, and it's just been fantastically restored by Peter. He did a great job with this. It's as good as new. It works fantastically. Now, if you don't want to wait for the end of the record to come along, you can just push the reject button and it'll get to the next record sooner than not. And as the records begin to stack up on the platter there, the vertical tracking angle of the tone arm is going to change. So this thing actually can adjust up and down as it goes. And again, that does it all automatically. And I just think this is an amazing thing. We are looking at something, you guys, that is, let's see, how old is this thing? This is 70 years old. 70 years old and still working, with the help of, you know, a refresh and a little bit of maintenance and somebody caring about it. It's not in a landfill. It's not, you know, needing any help other than, you know, somebody to care for it and love it. And I just think it's a great thing, you guys. What a cool, fun way to enjoy records. So once you're done, you can also manually cue, by the way, if you wanted to do that. But let's say you're done, you turn it off, you're like, that was fun. You pull the records off vertically, just like that. And now if you want to listen to the other side, you flip them over and then stack them on there and go to town again. Otherwise, you put them back on the shelf, back into the box that they came from. And that is the RCA way of listening to an album, which I think is cool. And I think there's merit to it. And I think that it's a cool format. And obviously down the road, you know, things became, you know, there was a market for both formats. And I think that that is a neat thing as well. And a great album. If you find Volume 1 is pretty common to find. I come across them from time to time, which is why I pick up every variant I can get. So if you do see that, if you like Glenn Miller, it's some great stuff because it's mostly radio stuff versus the studio stuff. So it's a little bit more jumpy, a little bit more active. His band was a little looser on the radio than it was in the studio. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. That's going to do it for now, guys. Happy record hunting. We will see you tomorrow.